There are battles you prepare for, and then there are battles nobody warns you about. The battles that happen after the victory. The battles that begin when the crowd leaves, when the adrenaline fades, when the prayers have been answered, when the assignment is complete, and suddenly the strength you used to survive the moment is gone. Some victories look like endings, but are actually the beginning of hidden struggles. That is the uncomfortable truth hidden inside the story of the Bible. Elijah stands as one of Scripture's most powerful figures, a prophet of fire, a prophet of confrontation, a man who stood against corruption when entire systems had bowed to compromise. He prayed and the heavens closed. He confronted kings without trembling. He stood on Mount Carmel against hundreds of false prophets and watched fire fall from heaven before the eyes of a nation. Imagine the emotional intensity of that moment. The pressure, the tension, the spiritual warfare, the public confrontation, the responsibility of carrying truth in a hostile environment. And then victory came. Fire fell. The people cried out that the Lord is God. Rain returned after drought. From the outside, this should have been Elijah's greatest moment. But Scripture does something shocking. It refuses to end the story at triumph, because God does not hide the emotional reality of His servants. Instead, the story moves into the Bible, and suddenly, Elijah is no longer standing on a mountain. He is running. The same prophet who stood before false prophets now hides in fear. The same man who confronted kings now collapses under a broom tree. And under that tree, Elijah says something deeply human. "It is enough now, O Lord, take away my life." This is not weakness in the shallow sense people often imagine. This is depletion, emotional exhaustion after prolonged spiritual pressure. And this matters because many people today are living exactly like Elijah, still functioning, still serving, still smiling, still showing up, but internally unraveling. Some people are applauded publicly while privately falling apart. Some are carrying entire families emotionally while nobody notices they themselves are exhausted. Some are leading ministries while battling silent discouragement. Some are helping everybody else survive while secretly wondering how much longer they can continue. And one of the most dangerous lies people believe is this: if I am struggling emotionally, then my previous victories meant nothing. But Elijah's collapse did not erase Elijah's calling. His exhaustion did not cancel his purpose, and your difficult season does not automatically mean you are failing. Sometimes the strongest people break quietly, because strength does not remove humanity. Even Jesus in the Bible entered Gethsemane overwhelmed with sorrow before the cross. Scripture never presents spiritual maturity as emotional numbness. God never asked human beings to become machines. And this is important because many people have confused being spiritual with pretending not to hurt. But suppressed exhaustion eventually surfaces. Ignored pain eventually speaks. Unprocessed pressure eventually leaks into the mind, emotions, relationships, and decisions. Now notice something powerful in Elijah's story. When Elijah collapses, God does not shame him. God does not say, "How dare you feel this way after I used you?" Instead, God responds with care. He lets Elijah rest. He feeds him. He allows recovery before giving new instructions. Isn't that powerful? Because sometimes heaven's first response to exhaustion is not rebuke, it is restoration. Some people need sleep more than another argument. Some need healing more than performance. Some need stillness more than noise. We live in a generation addicted to constant output, constant stimulation, constant pressure, constant visibility, constant comparison. People feel guilty for slowing down, guilty for resting, guilty for admitting they are tired. But even creation itself was designed with rhythms of rest. And if you ignore those rhythms long enough, eventually your mind, emotions, and body begin demanding what your soul has been denied. Elijah teaches us something uncomfortable, and that's a person can experience public victory while privately approaching emotional collapse. You can be anointed and exhausted, used by God and emotionally drained, faithful and tired at the same time. And many believers struggle because they think exhaustion means they have lost faith. No. Sometimes it simply means you have been carrying too much for too long without restoration. But here is the beautiful part of the story. God was not finished with Elijah. The broom tree was not the end. The cave was not the end. The exhaustion was not the end. Because God specializes in meeting people in places they thought they would die in. And eventually Elijah discovers something deeper. God is not only present in dramatic fire moments, He is also present in quiet restoration moments. Scripture says God was not in the wind, not in the earthquake, not in the fire, but in a still small voice. Many people only recognize God in loud victories, but sometimes God speaks most clearly after the noise dies down. Sometimes clarity comes after collapse. Sometimes healing begins after honesty. Sometimes restoration starts the moment you stop pretending you are okay. And maybe that is the real message here. Not that strong people never break, but that breaking is not the end of the story. Because God knows how to rebuild exhausted people. He knows how to restore worn minds. He knows how to strengthen weary hearts. He knows how to breathe life back into people who secretly feel empty. So if you are tired, deeply tired, emotionally tired, mentally tired, spiritually tired, hear this clearly. Your exhaustion is not proof that God abandoned you, and your difficult moment does not erase your purpose. The same God who met Elijah under the broom tree still meets weary people today, not with condemnation, but with mercy, not with shame, but with restoration. And maybe your next season is not about becoming stronger through pressure alone. Maybe it is about learning that even strong people need healing too. Because after the fire, after the battle, after the victory, God still cares for the person carrying the assignment. and that person includes you. If this message encouraged you, don't forget to like, subscribe, share with someone who needs hope today. And always remember that faith has never been reasonable in the eyes of the world, but God has always honored obedience.